Good morning, beautiful pond lovers. I hope we're all well today. As you can tell by the thumbnail and title, it's time to get these all prepped ready for winter. They are still up and moving about at the minute, but we've had a couple of days of a warm snap. It's gone back up to sort of 14 degrees for 2 days, so the fish are all back up, which is great. But before that, we've had lots and lots of minuses. The pond's been at 4 degrees, or the main pond has. It's time to get ready for winter. What do I do first? So as you all know, for the last couple of years I haven't covered my main pond for the last couple of years, and the fish have been absolutely fine. Did record lowest temperature at -2, no freezing of the water, so that was handy. And I'll be doing the same again because I've not had any problems. I have got a cover for it if, you know, winter gets really bad, but last year I think we had some -10s, -15s. Pond was fine, so be doing the same again. But I do a few bits in the filter house, so it's all ready for winter. So let me spin you around and show you what we do. First thing I do, when the water temperature is below 10 degrees, you certainly don't need an awful lot of oxygen being pumped into the water. So first things first is I am going to turn that down. I'm still using my little vary switch because it doesn't fit in these switch boxes. Unfortunately, it has been sat like that ever since, but it works. So let me turn that down. There we go. It is literally now just a dribble of bubbles. I don't know how well you can see it. That's a better shot. There you go. But yeah, just a dribble of bubbles, so it's not disturbing the surface of the water. I've got all these guys, as I say. Hello. The temperature in the pond is back up to 9 degrees, so we'll talk about feeding in a minute. Yeah, see, back at 9 degrees according to the old drum filter. But yeah, second job I do for this pond is, as you can see, the UV is still glowing, so we turn the UV off, and I'm pretty sure it's that plug there. Yeah, UV light is now off. It's funny, a lot of the people that swear by changing their UVs every season and say, oh, it's a must, it's a must, it's a must, those are the people that still turn their UV offs over winter. It's like, well, if it's a must that bad that you need to have a brand new bulb in it, why turn it off? Anyway, but yeah, no, that bulb is 3 years old and that pond is still absolutely gin clear. That is literally that pond winterized. Just to save a bit of money, turn the air down, because as we all know, when I did my review video of these little vary switches, I've opened up the box on there again so I can get to those electrics for today to show you guys. Not only do they lower the air, it also lowers the amount of electricity it uses. Bonus, why waste money over the winter? Now onto the small pond. What am I doing to winterize this one this year? First off, that needs a clean, but that is now off, the air source heat pump. I've only turned it off last week, so it's only been off a week. This one has got some good pros and not so good pros. I know James recently did a video on his doesn't work below certain temperatures. Now this one has the same, but this one works down to -7 degrees. So this one's, you know, as small pond heaters go, this one's pretty good. But one problem this does have, like his does, is the lowest temperature you can set this to is 15 degrees. Now, why is that good? Why is that bad? Let's get out of the wind. If I was trying to rush and grow these as quick as physically possible, I may heat them all year round. But in my eyes, most ponders still don't heat their pond. A lot of us do now, but most people don't. Now, if I was to heat these koi all year round, when they finally go into an unheated pond, it's going to shock them. You know, if they're in there for a year or two and then they have their first winter and hit minus temperatures, in my opinion, even when growing fry, I let them have a winter. Now, I don't know the science behind that, but I think all koi should have a winter. So if I could have lowered the temperature down to 8 degrees, 4 degrees, I may have kept it on all year round and just lowered it. Nothing to do with the electricity it uses, because it is dirt cheap to run them things. like dirt cheap. I mean, even when we was having the -4, the minus temperatures, it was still costing less than a couple of quid a week. Obviously I am very well insulated and sheltered in that pond, but yeah, next to nothing to run, so that is a big plus side. And obviously it does go working temperature down to -7, big plus side. But I'm not happy keeping my koi at 15 or winter. They had a winter last year, the fry, and they're going to have a winter again this year, same as the main pond. Back to what I'm going to do. Obviously I've turned that off. Let me just show you what the temperature is in there. I'm just going to turn it on for a few seconds. 12 degrees in there, and before it kicks in, so as you can see, we're 12 degrees in there, and we are only 9 degrees in there, and they are what, 3 foot away from each other. So it does make a difference covering your pond. Eventually they will get down to ridiculous temperatures, but these guys have already had a couple of feeds today. Look at them. Absolutely. But yeah, a lot more have gone. Chap came round and had 7 of them the other day, luckily just before the cold temperatures arrived. But yeah, anyway, so back to this. What else am I going to do? I am going to, exactly the same as the other pond, I'm going to tweak, it's already really low anyway, but I'm just going to tweak that down just a little bit more, so the air is literally just at a fizz. You can just about see some bubbles reaching the surface in that corner there. Don't need it this time of year. Why waste money? Now, do I need the UV on in this pond? Probably not. Probably not. If it does start to go green, it's only 13 watts, I can flip it on, but I will be flipping that off as well, so you can just about see the glow in there, and now it's gone. But yeah, someone did point out that these Eazypods that are UV ready normally have a black sleeve, very similar to the Eazypod cleaning pipe, just with a weird hole in it that should be in there for a UV, to stop the UV affecting the bacteria on the media. Now he is right, they do come with one of them, but one, I cut the bottom off it because obviously had to convert this into a gravity fed, and two, the flow that was coming through it was absolutely ridiculous. Couldn't even pull 5,000 litres an hour. The Eazypod was just dropping. So I did decide to take it out. Yes, if the UV will affect some of the media at the back there, but as you all know, it's a very fine grate down there, and each bit of media it's going to affect at any one time isn't going to do any damage to the bacteria that's in there. Yes, a little bit might die over there if it hits the UV after a bubbling and whatnot, but that side will be absolutely thriving. And then I bubble it again and again, any bacteria on the media that sits in between the little gaps, in between those little gaps that down there may get affected, but it will recolonise the bits that died last time that are now over this side, etc, etc. But that obviously has got bacteria in there, and obviously the shower is absolutely full. And to be honest, I didn't really suffer with any new pond syndrome, so I think it's working an absolute treat. So UV's off, air's down. Obviously this one's already covered. I have still got a roof to put up here. Obviously it's got that for protection up there, so I have got a roof to put up there to completely seal it. I was going to do that because I was thinking about putting like a little greenhouse heater in there. That is on the back burner for this year. Just want to see how the pond does with a proper winter, no heater, nothing, just see what kind of temperatures it gets down to. As I say, when this one was 4 degrees, this one was 9, so they're a good 5 degrees difference with the covers. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do for winter for my ponds. Not a lot, turn a few things off. In fact, there is one more thing I am going to do, is I'm going to turn the flow down a little bit in this pond. Can't remember what we're set to. We bothered to move the bench and open the doors properly, but we're using 104 watts and we are currently set to 60%, and that's of an 18,000 litre an hour pump. Obviously in the height of summer it does go up to 100%, but as the temperatures drop I keep turning it down a bit just to save that little bit of extra electricity, because the bacteria at 4 degrees doesn't do an awful lot. So yeah, drum's still bubbling away a good one in there with all my nets currently on top. But yeah, so that's now at 50%, which uses 89 watts. Doesn't really affect the shower too much, but a couple of watts is a couple of watts, isn't it? That's nearly 20 watts by the end of the winter. A couple of quid, like Tesco's always says, every little helps. Garden tidy up. Bit on the back burner at the minute. I give up with these leaves because every time I vac them up they're back again. So yeah, but I've almost got a full patio back. You can see the gravel now under the chairs. I haven't seen that gravel for donkeys. It needs a good sieve again, methinks. It's got a bit grubby with all the rubbish that was piled up there, but I can now easily get into my log shed just by moving the barbecue out the way. The cover unfortunately for the barbecue has had it, so I need a new one. So literally all that's left on the patio area is sort out the pond plants. So I've got that tub there full of pond plants, these two full of lilies. I think there's a Irish root in there that's now died off. There is another bucket, oh yeah, with an Irish root there, and I can't remember what's in these two. They might have just been Daphnia, don't know. This needs draining again. Would you Adam and Eve it? I've drained this twice now this autumn, but yeah, need to find somewhere to store it. I'm not sure how many more times this will be able to be dismantled and rebuilt, because it's already had a few repairs over the years and it was already damaged when I bought it. Still paid 200 quid for it though, but it did me well, so I ain't gonna grumble. But yeah, I can now get to every part of my garden. There's still a bit of rubbish here and there, but I can now get to absolutely everything. And I can even, if that chair weren't there, but that's currently propping up that because that was blowing over in the storm, I can even get down to the bottom of my gatelet. Bit more rubbish down there that needs sorting, but yeah, all the wood piles have been burnt, so we are getting there. Grass is a mess again. So I did mention, going to talk about what do I feed in the winter. Get asked it quite a lot actually. What do I feed during the winter? Well, we all know my staple food in my big tubs down here is aqua sauce all seasons with garlic, and then I mix in, depending on the season, high protein, wheat germ, whatever. But because it's all seasons, I generally can feed it all year round. People do say, should you only feed wheat germ during the winter? Now again, don't know the sciences behind this. I do know koi struggle to digest certain foods during the winter, but I listen to my koi, and this is how I've always been. Now, what do I mean by listen to my koi? Let me show you. Now what I mean by listening to my koi is if I stand here, which is the area I feed them at, if they all come running over like this with their mouths om nom nom out the water saying feed me, then they get fed. During that really cold snap we had, I kept coming over to this corner and they were just not on the bottom but just cruising around. Not one of them came over to the corner with their mouth open. So them days they didn't get any food, but today they obviously want a little bit. Not that you can see through this manky pot, but a third of a pot is what they're going to get. And if basically they get that, that'll be gone within minutes. And if any of it makes it down to the skimmer, because the air's now barely on, it will float that way. That's another good reason for turning the pump down, I suppose. It makes the skimmer suck less. But if any of it does make it to the skimmer, the next time they're up and wanting food, they get slightly less in the pot, basically. But yeah, no, don't think none of that's going to get to the skimmer even. So that's how much they get. Now in the small pond there is a lot more fish, okay, be it half the size, so they're getting half a tub, and their mix similar, just more smaller pellets in there. Both still have high protein food in, and some people might be going, Jamie, what are you doing, high protein at 9 degrees? Yes, high protein at 9 degrees, and there's a reason for it. My dealer once told me, he said, Jamie, why are you looking for wheat germ? Because Mark doesn't stop wheat germ. Why are you looking for wheat germ? I said, because it's winter, Mark, and the pond's really cold. He said, yes, but as I've just shown you today, the koi were looking for food, koi or carp. Now, if koi or carp were out in the wild and they were like that, hungry, looking for food, and a bug landed on the water, would they look at it and say, I can't eat you, you've got too much protein? If a worm fell in the water, would they do the same? Would they look at it and say, I can't eat you, you've got too much protein? Carp are carnivores. They eat an awful lot of protein out in the wild, and if they're looking for food, they do not discriminate and say, I can't eat you, you've got too much protein. They would just eat it. If they're hungry, they would eat it. And that is how I treat my koi. If they're hungry, they will eat it. Koi are rather intelligent. Whether that's the right or wrong thing to do, you decide. I'm sure everybody's got an opinion on the matter, but when you look at it logically, fish out in the wild, if they're hungry, they're going to eat. So I do the whole walk up to the pond test. If they come up, mom, 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 feed me, feed me, feed me, they get a bit of food. Not a lot. I mean, what, there was probably 50 to 100 pellets maybe in that third of a cup. When you think I've got around 30 koi, 3 pellets each, you know, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but it keeps them ticking over. If I go back to the side of the pond again, are they going to still be there waiting for food? Yes. Are they getting any more? No. No, but I will come out before it gets dark and see if they I like it again and give them a bit more. And the same with these guys, they've both had 2 feeds already today. These ones, yeah, both had 2 feeds already today, and they'll probably get another one later. But yeah, got some absolutely stunners in here. Absolute stunners. I mean, the 2 big asagis, everybody's asking me about these 2 big asagis. There's one, he's beautiful. And the other one, don't know where the other one is. But it's the other one that will be unfortunately staying in Keeping It Koi's pond. He has got munched fins. Oh, this is the one without the munched fins. But he does have a small shimmy on the other side of him. Ah, here's the other one. And this one, someone ate his fins. Most of them have grown back now, but yeah, he's going to be gracing the main pond at some point. Oh, look at that Orchiba. Absolutely stunning. Got a few Karasugois in there. Got a few, 1 or 2 nice Deutz Orchibas left. Most of them have been sold now. Can't believe he's still here. Really can't. Yeah, a couple of Chags. There's a Deutz Orchiba. Still got a good mix in there. Still got a couple from my own spawning. There's one. The big Benny Kikikiryu was around here a minute ago. Still got the odd Karashigoi. Another little Asagi there, nothing special that one. I think that one got gutted by the heron, as you can see there. Oh, there's another one. Got a Snow Asagi, Jinrin one, just swam past there. But yeah, these are listed for sale, but a bit wrong time of year now. Little Kikikiryu there, probably from my spawning as well, because my Benny Kikikiryu is not a very dark orange, so, or dark red, whatever you want to call it. It's not Key and it's not Benny, it's somewhere in the middle. But she is a beast, absolutely gorgeous. People keep asking me how big she is, but she hasn't been out at all, that one, since going in. So she's been in there, what, just over 3 years now, 3.5 years. She must be over 60, must be. Size wise, she's the fattest, the Benikikiri I mean. She's the biggest, and he's the longest. You can probably tell we're now losing the light, so just another little clip. They are all still wanting a bit more food, so another third of a cup. I'll get that. Nom, 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 nom. Nom nom nom. And these guys get their half a cup. One advantage of not having the roof on yet, saves me opening the door. Yeah, that's them done for the night. As you can see, the air's still fizzing away in both ponds, but only just. You can just about see it there. And we don't get to come out here during the dusk, so let's flick the light on, and then we can see right into the bottom of the pond. You can just see now the bubbles coming out the bottom drain. As you can see, pond work's an absolute treat. I've had 3 feeds today, even in this weather. Very little waste on the bottom. What is there, these guys will shift straight down the bottom drain. But yeah, deep old pond mine, almost 6 foot deep, and then you got the step there, which is about 4 and a bit foot. Don't know if we can see it in this light, but the return line is just under the shower. That keeps the step clean because it pushes all the muck off and down there, and the fish do the rest to get it into the bottom drain. But because the bottom drain is only working for sort of half of the base of the pond, basically it works very, very well. Very, very well indeed. And there you can just about make out the in-pond return just under the shower. Hello you. Beautiful. Love looking at them under this light. Probably won't do the review on the heater until spring when I turn it back on. I will be turning it on early because, as I say, I want them to have a winter. Don't want it to be too long, so I'll probably turn it on mid-February, just as the sun starts coming back again, because we want a bit more daylight before turning it back on. Let it help heat up, because as I say, as soon as I turn it on, the bad thing is obviously it's going to send the little pond up to 15 degrees, and that will only take 24 hours for it to do that. Basically I need the pond to get up to around 10 degrees again in the spring, which, as it's 12 degrees still today, and what is the temperature today? Blimmin' cold, I know that much. It's 10 degrees, maybe a tad over, 10.5, and the pond's still at 12, so if we get some 10.5 days in February, which I'm sure we will, then that will naturally bring the pond up, and then I can whack the heater on from there, because it's a lot easier taking koi up in temperature than it is sudden drops, which is why I turned it off when I did, because it was coming on a lot, but I knew with the covers on that it ain't going to drop too quickly, and it's been a week and it's gone from 15 down to 12, so that's a nice slow drop. But yeah, as I say, I've been waffling enough, so on that note guys, thanks all for watching. Like the video if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next one.